Republicans.
Wow.
You figure the fact that these delegates are so repressed and filled with self-hatred,
yes,
they tend to like the filthiest, kinkiest sex acts imaginable.
Oh, that's
which
right.
tends to cost more. The average well-adjusted gay man has no desire to smear fecal matter all over his partner's face or be beat up by him. But that is exactly the sort of thing that these repressed conservatives are willing to pay top dollar for.
Okay, as well as the services of transsexuals, I understand.
Yes. A lot of the Republicans repeatedly call the prostitutes faggots or start crying after they've had sex with them.
I suppose the prostitutes are shoring up on their politics so they can talk to the Republicans.
Ha ha, Andrea, what do you think this is, Pretty Woman? They're just there to get
right. Thank you, Marie Byron.
RNC's always a good time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll free and bring up whatever you want. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The police state that is being put into place over the coronavirus is absolutely insane, and it's getting worse as time goes on. State of Massachusetts government gang now announcing that places with more than 25 people will be subject to a crackdown. You're not allowed to have more than 25 people in any retail establishment, although they are excusing, according to the story, grocery stores from that requirement, or pharmacies. So if you have a grocery store or a pharmacy, you can have more than 25 people, but any other retail establishment not allowed to have that. It's even worse in Austria, where no more than 5 people are allowed to gather in public. Wow. I mean, it's just overwhelming, the amount of news that we could be covering here. But, of course, we also take your calls and thoughts. So you're welcome to join us on the phone lines at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And so it's basically restricting life. People can't go out and enjoy things. We were at we have a normal Sunday gathering that us libertarian types go to. Richie, you and I were there this evening before the show. And the lady at the cash register told us that we were the only group who they see. I guess, they see some regular groups come in there on a weekly basis that come in for whatever their group is, maybe the running club or whoever it is. They all canceled. Every other group all week didn't come in.
Cats.
Nobody else came out except for us. And she was actually kind of surprised that we were the only ones who even came in. Now, I asked her, has business been down generally? And she said, yesterday it was slow until about 2 o'clock, and then things seemed normal after that.
Okay.
So they haven't seen a tremendous downturn in overall business, it sounds like, yet. But then again, New Hampshire has not put in the same kinds of restrictions that we're seeing happen in other states. It
may not even be related to that, though. The general population could just be fearful, right, and don't want to gather in restaurants. Because it wasn't the New Hampshire restrictions, that kept the other groups from showing up.
I mean, or maybe they're off working overtime somewhere from people who are buying all the hand sanitizer.
Well, I mean, while there are certainly some places that are hiring people, like certain retailers are hiring in order to handle the extra demand, there are also other places that are firing people because their businesses are down. They don't have the same amount of people coming in, especially if you're in the convention business. You are completely out of work at this point. So if you want to comment, you're welcome to join us, 855-450-FREE. Also, Illinois and Ohio announcing today they will be closing all restaurants and bars in response to the growing COVID-19 pandemic, even though, again, the COVID-19 has not spread as far as the flu, although it's still early on. It could get worse. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine tweeted, quote, "We will be issuing an order closing all bars and restaurants in Ohio beginning at 9 o'clock tonight," noting that establishments would still be allowed to continue carry-out and delivery services. He says what we can't have is people congregating and seated. But what's the difference exactly? I mean, isn't this COVID-19 thing supposed to, sit on surfaces for some number of days?
It can. That was one of the things.
Right. So,
airborne for a little bit, surface areas for a number of days.
So what does it matter whether people are seated around and talking to one another as opposed to coming to the same counter to pick up the food from, takeout? I mean, you're still going to the same place where other people have been. You're still using the same bathrooms where other people have been.
Probably less so if you're not allowed to stay. Like you probably use the restroom a lot more when you're at the bar than if you're just picking up food.
Yeah, maybe, but again, people are going to be around to do the things they have to do outside of their house. What does it matter if they're sitting down at a restaurant table together with the same people who they would have traveled to the restaurant with? I mean, or whatever. It just seems like a totally unnecessary crackdown. And somebody suggested previously that this is an excuse to try out different police state measures and just kind of see what works, see what people will put up with.
I agree with that.
Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah, Camel Toe in the chat room says, being 3 foot away from a person doesn't make a damn bit of difference when it's floating through the HVAC ductwork. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. Let's talk to Greg. He's in New York. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Greg.
Hey. It's your resident techno-libertarian calling in. It's been a while.
Hey, Greg.
How are you?
What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I was thinking that government is a blunt instrument, and they try to regulate top-down, tell people, hey, you can't cross from New York to New Jersey or New Jersey to New York. How is that going to stop the spread of the virus is beyond me. I'm not sure, but it definitely slows the economy.
Is that what they're saying? You can't travel from New York to New Jersey now?
No, I think it will happen eventually.
Because they are talking about a crackdown in New York City, right? They're talking about a lockdown or something?
Yeah, like, for example, the New Jersey governor, I think, is also looking at something where if people aren't able to buy stuff in New Jersey, they'll go to New York and so on. So they want to close those things. That just sounds to me like it's a very coarse instrument. Governments are just able to do things at large groups. And what I wanted to bring up is I think that applications and apps have really reshaped how we as a society behave. And they can do pinpoint things. Like in South Korea, they actually took a look at each person's connections and so on, which was a lot more intelligent than just telling people to, stay within a certain city block or something like that. And every type of app that we have, Facebook, Netflix, has changed the way we behave, the way we talk to each other, how much we stay at home. Amazon, we can deliver to our house. So I would actually want to say that I think we can battle a virus with a virus. I think we can have a viral app where people can invite other people and kind of at least keep them in the loop. Like, how are my symptoms? How are your symptoms? And what I want to do is I want to actually build an app with a 14-day challenge so you could sit at home for 14 days. And if you do it, then if you don't have any symptoms, you can invite other people who have done the same, and you guys can all hang out. This way, it's a little bit easier.
As long as it's not more than 25 people in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's pretty much right. Oh, the other group of people that can hang out are the people that beat the virus, had the symptoms, and recovered, because supposedly those people can't pass it on anymore. So they have to find each other, like people after a zombie apocalypse have to find each other. So I think an app would be very useful.
But then the government will step in and crack down.
The virus.
The government will step in and crack down because they're the authority on who has had it, who has recovered, who is allowed to congregate after that. Right? They'll be in charge of all the monitorings of all those things, right?
Well, sadly, there's no testing in the United States. The government has been too slow. Apparently, there's a shortage, and they could have acted, but they didn't. And now there's not enough testing. So, ideally, testing by itself is useless if you find out that you're negative. Let's say you find out, okay, you don't have the virus. So what do? You can get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
What did you gain from that? But if you tested and then that certificate could be digitally signed by the testing center, you could share it with your friends and say, hey, guys, I don't have the virus. Who else doesn't have it? Let's all hang out,
Except on your way to hanging out, you catch it by some passerby on the street.
Or you can just, go and hang out and act out like your life, is not any different than it has been previously and just take a risk.
Like we did at dinner.
Yeah, just like we did. And you know what? It was a nice dinner.
It was.
Hey, thanks for the call, Greg. I appreciate it. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Liberty Phoenix is in our Discord chat room. He says in Illinois, all schools and bars and restaurants are closed. Incremental martial law is being imposed.
Across all Illinois? Because the one was only like some mayor of some small town.
No, this is all of Illinois. In fact, that's part of the story I have here. Illinois and Ohio closing all bars and restaurants. The Ohio governor issuing a statement about all bars and restaurants closing as of 9 o'clock tonight. And Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says his state will also order restaurants and bars to close to dine-in customers by the end of Monday. Closures would last from March 16th rather, through March 30th. He says, we are working with restaurant owners and food delivery services across the state to see if restaurants can safely keep their kitchens open so restaurants can continue food delivery to people at their homes. And I've heard that Domino's has new food delivery, touchless delivery that they are implementing, which I can't describe to you, but seemed unnecessarily complicated. In moments, you may join us here, 855 450 free, like freedom.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict, or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. Live Sunday edition. Should we rename it to Corona Talk Live? Because, I mean, that's like what everything we've been talking about has been.
It's unfortunate. Like I said, when I came in, I was like, it's dominating my entire news feed.
I can't get away from it.
You can't get away from it.
And honestly, I don't think we should. I mean, unless there's some sort of really breaking news that's of more urgency, this is what's affecting people's lives right now in a way that we have not seen in our lifetimes, I don't think. I mean, yeah, there's the occasional natural calamity like a hurricane that people kind of come together for, and they do unusual things. And
that's usually really localized.
Right, and there's government responses that are outrageous and price gouging responses and, you know, news about that stuff, and we cover that, and then it blows over, and then it's over. This is protracted. It's gone on now for a number of weeks. It's getting progressively worse as the panic spreads faster and more insane. And the government, of course, isn't helping things with its more restrictions that they're laying out. We just found out that Ohio, Illinois, and the state of Massachusetts are restricting restaurants and bars from allowing anyone to sit down. You can still go in and take out some food from your favorite restaurant, presuming they still stay open, because at some point, some of these businesses should be like, yeah, there's just not enough customers coming in to make this worthwhile. We're just going to close our doors. That's going to put people out of work. We're already seeing other people being put out of work in the convention business, for instance. Those are being canceled left and right. If you had a job in the convention business, you're basically out of a job at this point. Maybe you'll get it back next year, presuming everything comes back in, the conventions that were going to happen this year happen again. Many of them will be not happening because they spent so much money this year, weren't able to recoup their costs, and don't have enough money to do it again because they couldn't do it this year. So I think we're going to see the end of certain conventions who are sort of like on the precipice of maybe just barely profitable. Those conventions are probably not going to come back for 2021. And
movie
theaters are having a tough time. They're with their lowest week since 22 years, I think it was. We talked about that last night on the show. The box office returns very, very poor, which is, people aren't going out. And obviously, if they're not working as much, they're not going to be spending as much. And that's going to be a cycle of causing more economic issues.
So UBI.
Universal basic income. Well, that's not going to help things either because it's the government just printing money out, which they just did with $1.5 trillion apparently being loaned to banks for whatever reason, because they can, I guess.
Stimulate the economy.
So
they can loan out more money now that they have more.
Yeah, and it's not going to stimulate jobs because, you got to have real demand in order to have real jobs. And think about like the hospitality business, the people that sort of serve around conventions. So you've got the actual convention staff and people like that run the conventions, but then all the bars and the restaurants that surround the general area of the conventions that get a huge economic boost from whenever a convention shows up, that's all gone. And people are going to be told to stay inside. People are told to not talk to others. People are told to do what they call social distancing, which I guess is like not shaking hands now, doing like elbow bumps, apparently.
Whatever.
Did you see this 5 things from the World Health Organization? Did you see that pop up on your phone today?
I didn't see that one.
I'll see if I can pull that up.
Things don't typically pop up on my phone.
I turned off all the emergency alerts on my phone,
It wasn't an emergency alert. It came through as a Google like news update.
Oh, okay.
It was like the #1 story that Google wanted to tell me about. I'll see if I can pull up that.
I've seen everyone doing the bow, right? The prayer bow.
Japan has a lot of good things going on as far as like sanitation, like no shoes in the house. They have like increasingly shoeless areas in houses. I want that for myself.
Restaurants,
they
you
don't
put on
touch
your
each other's hands. Yeah, there's some things I would like to pull from Japan.
Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. Phones are loaded up here. Mark is on the line in James Island, South Carolina, listening to WTMA. Hello, Mark.
Hey guys.
Hey.
And Melanie.
Hey.
What's on your mind?
I was saying that the guy that had the sanitizer, he ought to be allowed to sell that stuff.
Right.
He's already paid taxes on it and everything too. So the difference is in a natural disaster is people don't have access to funds, or maybe not even be able to get out.
Well, so in a natural disaster, you're taking product from a place that has a quote surplus into a place that has no product. So that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, what I'm saying is most people in a natural disaster, they might have cash that's on them or maybe some kind of barter item that they could pay for goods, until like the Red Cross got in. But right now, with what we got going on, everybody's still got access to their funds. So if they're willing to pay $50 for a bottle to make themselves feel better, then so be it.
I feel the same way. Yeah. I mean, let the market decide, and allow these other companies to ramp up their production in the meantime. Let the entrepreneurs like this guy who had the foresight to snatch up 17,000 bottles, let him make a little bit of money while these other companies get their S together and start cranking out more product.
What?
Yeah,
how is that
and he's already paid. What is it, Melody?
So how is getting their S together a valid description of the companies? The companies are already producing to the demand of their profit margins. The companies aren't seeing $50 a bottle.
Well, they're not getting it out there.
Right,
no, but what I'm saying is they got to ramp up their production.
Because they're not the ones getting paid. The dude with the U-Haul
no, they're
truck
getting paid. They can raise their prices too if they want.
They're getting paid their normal prices, so they're putting out their normal supply. That's how it works.
Right, but if you've got a higher...
government's getting paid too because he's probably already paid federal taxes on the money.
Well, he paid sales taxes at the very least. He went and he bought from retail stores, so he's paying sales taxes in that case. But look, if you've got a company and there's certain things that you manufacture, it may not all be this one product. You may manufacture more than one product at your manufacturing facilities. But if it turns out that one product of the 5 different products that you're manufacturing is all of a sudden in higher demand, then you can put the other 4 products on hold, and you can, put all of your production time into the one product.
Well, but why? Because you're not getting a higher price for it.
You could raise your price.
Even if you don't raise your price, you can produce more volume at the same price.
But if the profit margin for that product has not changed, and to the manufacturers it has not, why would you take away from something else?
Because they're not selling as well.
On the volume.
The product is selling better. You want to sell the thing that people want to buy, Melanie, so you make more of that thing.
But people are still buying other things.
Not in the same quantities. Thank you, Mark, for your call tonight. I do appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. But, of course, it takes time to change those things over and to move the product to the retailers. And of course, there's still a buying frenzy that's going on.
Even if the margin is smaller on that particular product, if you're doing higher volume, you can
make some more money. Yeah. And that's not to say that these companies can't raise their prices a little bit, right? Like, we haven't heard any stories about the government saying there shall be no price raises on anything anywhere. It's gouging that is what is prohibited. So if you raise your price 10%, that's probably not going to be seen as gouging unless there's a total ban on price increases like there's in the Mariana Islands.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You may take control of the airwaves here, and it is the live Sunday edition of the program. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian,
Rich,
and Melanie.
The next generation of wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org, DIVI project.org. As we continue, we will take your calls about whatever's on your mind. We go back to the phones, to the fun. We talk to Tim in Portsmouth, Virginia, listening online. Go ahead, Tim.
Hey, how you doing this afternoon?
Hey, Tim, what's on your mind?
I think this is a experiment with the local police states to see how far they can get away with. Because if you notice, no federal government has said you cannot have more than 50 people or 100 people, 200. They all been state and local. The governors have done it. The city mayors have done it. Or the city mayors have done it. But what's so strange is, where was all the chaos with AIDS, bird flu, swine flu? It wasn't like this.
No, it wasn't like that. And I think that social media has played a large role in increasing the panic factor that people have. I mean, people are normally subjected to panic buying in certain circumstances, like in a hurricane or some other natural disaster.
Absolutely.
But it's taken that, and I think it's taken it to a new level. But I don't think the fact that it's only been state governments that have been issuing diktats indicates that this is, a police state experiment. I mean, you certainly are still having diktats from the federal government. For instance, there's a travel ban that has been put into place for European nations, and apparently they are now adding the UK.
Coming in. Right, from coming in, but the Americans can still travel.
Yeah, that's my understanding. However, people may be misunderstanding the ban. Have started flooding back into the United States. There was a story, let's see, where was it? CBS Chicago, large crowds forced to wait for hours, shoulder to shoulder, to get through customs coming back in to O'Hare International Airport Saturday night while waiting for
forcing large groups of people to congregate with each other.
Right, and I also saw this morning where a couple came back in and they weren't even screened. And they were like, yeah, we were really surprised about this. We just walked right out to our vehicles. And it's like, come on, why is some not reacting and some are?
Well, one thing's for sure, government is inconsistent in its application of things it does.
And I'm not sure I want them to be reacting more harshly, right? Like,
No, I don't
want
either.
the federal government.
And here's what I would not be surprised to see with these drive-up tests that they're going to be doing. You're going to have city and state they're going to get temp agencies. They're going to have these employees out there in these suits, and they're going to be conducting these swabs. You don't have enough nurses and doctors to be out and doing it in all these parking lots.
No, they don't. They barely have enough hospital staff to take care of the people who are there already.
Yep.
Correct. And that's going to be one of the issues.
So who's going to be doing these swabs?
I don't know.
Police.
Yeah.
No, you're going to get the temp agencies to get out there for $8 an hour doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
The fire department, the paramedics.
Right.
Whoever's
it's not going to be qualified.
They don't usually have doctors and nurses on the side of the road doing checkpoints.
Not going to be.
Yeah, but fire department. I am a retired firefighter. We won't be out there. I can tell you that now.
Yeah.
It's
not.
We won't be doing it. We're too busy with day-to-day stuff.
Right.
I mean, this ain't going to stop accidents. It's not going to stop house fires.
Nope, it sure isn't. Although if people aren't leaving their homes, then there may be fewer car wrecks. But that said,
that's the other thing. They all want you to stay in your house, so they're not. That's not going to happen. All the schools are out, so crime's going to go up.
The hooligans, the
bored teenagers.
Well,
yeah.
You can't keep these kids, and I say kids. I got two myself. Locked up inside the house.
Not for long. Nope. Well, give them some
They're
video
gonna
games.
wanna get out.
Yes, you can.
Just give them the video games and the tablet.
I did not go out that much as a kid, and I didn't even have the internet.
They're going to go out and they're going to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
some
all
crazy
right, thank
stuff.
you.
Tim, thanks for the call, man. I definitely appreciate hearing from you. The photos from Chicago's O'Hare International Airport from Saturday night's pretty crazy. I mean, just wall to wall, full of people in the hallways and waiting to be screened by customs. Airport officials have asked to add more staffs to meet demand. Travelers waited to be screened by agents from Customs and Border Protection and the CDC. Airport staff and Chicago police were even handing out snacks to people waiting in line. Some had to wait for up to 6 hours.
Yeah, by that time you've already caught the virus from everyone else standing around who's got the virus.
Right. If you didn't have it before, you just stood in an airport full of thousands of people. Airport staff, some people had to wait for 6 hours. The airport released several tweets asking for patience from travelers. This comes after Donald Trump announced a 30-day travel ban on European countries to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. One woman who returned Saturday night after traveling all over Europe says she was recently in Portugal and had been to France and the Netherlands. She said it took 3 hours to get through customs. It took another 2 to get through the health check, and then took another hour to get through the CDC. All they do is find someone to pair you with, scan your temperature real quick, ask how you feel, and then send you on your way.
That shouldn't take that long then.
Well, it takes more time.
You just get the just bing people with the surface temp. You know,
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it's rectal or what it. I have no idea what method they're using. But it takes extra time for every extra person there. And if all they're doing is scanning your temperature, then what? Taking you aside if you've got a fever and giving you extra tests? Is that what the idea is?
That could work. right? Like we have Easy Pass here for tolls. That thing just bings it on the way through. And
But then again, as you pointed out, if you're wall to wall with people and somebody is in there who's got the disease, they're not going to have a temperature after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Meaning the person with the disease may have the temperature, or the virus may have the temperature.
But it's spread.
But now they've spread it to whoever's in their nearby vicinity, and given this is literally shoulder-to-shoulder, standing room only situations, they probably have infected multitudes of people. So they're not grabbing up everybody who's in the vicinity of a person who's got a high temperature, are they?
I don't know. Seems like a pick your poison, right? Do you want everyone to be wall to wall, like congregated like that, and then released upon test, or do you want to just let people through so that they're not surrounded by potential hosts?
But here's the thing:
virus?
according to the notice that I saw about this travel ban, it doesn't apply to Americans, meaning that if you were in France at the time the travel ban came out, well, you weren't being told you had to come home.
Okay.
But maybe people misunderstood it and thought, oh my God, I'm not going to be allowed to come home because of this travel ban, so therefore I need to come home now before the travel ban comes into place, even though they weren't actually prohibited from traveling. The ban was only supposedly prohibiting Europeans from traveling to the United States.
Could have been worried about flights. Airlines will cancel flights if they're not, if they're not.
That's what you'd think, but apparently the airlines have to continue running the flights, otherwise they will lose their spots at the airports.
So ghost planes?
That's what they're called, apparently. Ghost flights. Now, from what I understand, they can still cut back to some extent.
Okay.
But there's a certain minimum that they have to provide in order to continue having, the entire wing of an airport dedicated to them, for instance. Or a terminal.
So more money just being flushed in fuel costs just to hold their spot.
Pretty stupid.
Whatever, man.
Yeah. And that's government, right? Those are government airports. Government rules are creating that. So it's just crazy. The governor of Illinois blaming the federal government, saying the federal government needs to get its S together. And by the way, I love, just as an aside, I love all these politicians being, using dirty language, right? Like you got Joe Biden used the S word recently. Trump is known for using coarse language. It's like
makes it more relatable
these days. But you never it's like when I was growing up, I didn't hear about that stuff. You never. If a politician,
where would you have heard it? Because they can't play it on TV.
But they are now. On cable news, you can play it.
Okay.
Not on broadcast, probably, but on cable news, you can. I think I heard a clip of Geraldo saying the S word on the air the other night on CNN.
Cable channels have a different rules, so they can say more. They just don't.
But yeah, I think it's funny that all these politicians are being caught saying dirty words in public, but yet the FCC still has rules say you can't say those things, even though the politicians do it all the time. There's more coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens. We support the amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Jeunesse products are designed by leading doctors in their field with natural ingredients and even stem cell technology. These products help your body perform and look better. Shop Jeunesse at gcnlife.com or call 1-844-443-6637. gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Attention GCN listeners who still need food supplies. If you've thought about the implications of food-related supply chain disruptions and are concerned about the coming quarantines, this will be the most important message you will ever hear. Here's why. In the next few days, all Americans will face extremely hard choices. If we've learned anything from China and Italy, it's that quarantines and enforced lockdowns are just a few days away here in the US. Listen, while dehydrated food is becoming scarce, you can still get enough open pollinated heirloom seeds to grow a 1-acre crisis garden. The truth is, growing nutrient-dense vegetables in the days ahead may actually be the single most important thing that you do. Go to survivalseedbank.com and watch the new video to understand the nature of this threat. This could be life-saving. Lockdowns can last from 6 to 8 weeks. Get free bonus seeds, special quarantine reports too. Go to survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon you'll need a plan and place to survive. Forget bunkers. You're not a live underground gopher. You need survivalist camps. The ultimate fully functional, off-the-grid mobile survival bug-out house that's well-equipped and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Bold statement? You bet. See them now at survivalistcamps.com. That's survivalistcamps.com. Trust your family's survival to survivalistcamps.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. Hop into one of those if you want to sound like you're sitting here in the studio with us. And tonight, it's Ian here.
Richie Rich.
And Melanie.
Plus, you can get more of Richie. He's got his own podcast he does called The Anarchist Experience.
At anarchistexperience.com.
And what was your show about this week?
Oh, my goodness. So my co-host is really into crypto, like more so than I am.
Okay.
So I had to talk to him about that little mini dip on
the price
Friday.
Of Bitcoin dropping below $4,000, you mean? That one?
That, and along with all other cryptos. So he gave a pretty interesting analysis on that and tried to explain to me how the $1.5 trillion influx of cash actually makes the dollar stronger.
Okay, that does sound like an interesting claim. I would be interested to hear that.
Go for it.
You can
AnarchistExperience.com.
At AnarchistExperience.com. It does also air over at Liberty Radio Network on LRN.FM, but it's obviously easy to just go and download it directly at AnarchistExperience.com. And are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement, or are you a little uncertain? Maybe you need to check out Tom Young, the author and founder of the CFO Project, who can show you how to be debt-free in 9 years or less, including your mortgage without spending a single dollar more, with the current state of the federal debt at $23 trillion and the unfunded liabilities at $127 trillion. You don't want to wait to take control of your money. Don't let your retirement savings be used to bail out the government. Instead of building a plan, Tom can show you how to create strategies now to save money without penalties and as little government involvement as possible. His new book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project, will show you how to build wealth and eliminate debt at the same time. You can get your free copy now over at cfo-project.com. Invest in yourself and your family today. Get your free copy of The Family Money Farm, the CFO Project, at CFO-project.com. We go back to more of your calls and thoughts. We got Josh, who's calling from Springfield, Illinois. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, it's the kid with the private station that called last night.
Hey, Josh.
Out of Illinois, and you guys keep calling about J.B. Pritzker and how like he's saying all this stuff.
This is the Illinois governor?
Yeah, as an Illinoisan, I just want to say there's only 2 counties in Illinois that voted for him, I think, and like no one likes this guy. They're all pro Bruce Rauner, but JB's kind of screwing it up, and the state's a mess with the debt and the pension fund. So,
well, I mean, Illinois has been a mess since before this governor. In fact, the previous governors, some of them have ended up in prison. So,
and then pardoned.
Yeah.
Trump pardoned them.
Bruce Rauner tried to kind of clean it up, and things got dicey there for a minute because he had to cut the budget, and people didn't like that apparently, like the educators. So they elected J.B. Pritzker in Chicago and East St. Louis.
Well, that's okay. You get another shot. You can vote him out next time.
Yeah, but it takes more than one term to kind of clean this mess we have up here, and I don't think that's going to be possible.
Illinois is not going to get cleaned up. It's a garbage dump. The government there is terrible. It's worse than most of the other 50 states. It's one of the worst. It's one of the least free. It's they don't care about your right to bear arms in that state. There's a state income tax that they've raised dramatically. I think it was a few years ago they raised it like 67%. So I mean, it's just a crazy madhouse of statism there, and you can't just put somebody else in and expect it's going to get cleaned up.
Sad thing is that the whole state's Republican, besides the 2 biggest counties, which are Cook and Madison down in St. Louis. So
right, so it's your typical situation where the big cities have the bulk of the population, and so they have all of the voting influence over the government there. So you've got a massive amount of geographic area that isn't represented as well as the high population cities.
Secede from the state.
In the state government. If it were only easy to do that, there's a lot of people who would love to, I bet. There are secession movements in various different places in the United States, but in order to secede, they usually have to get the permission of the federal government and the state government in order for that to legally happen, so it usually ends up being dead in the water. Josh, I definitely feel your frustrations, man. I would suggest getting out of Illinois as a solution. What do you think about that?
Well, I can't because my parents kind of got it going good right now. So unless they lose their jobs, which isn't a good thing, I think we're staying here.
Gotcha. Well,
or maybe when I go to college.
Are you underage? Okay, so you're underage. Yeah. So when you're 18, so I've been known to try to fix places that don't want to be fixed. Places that are that bad off don't want to be fixed. So when you can reasonably get out, you can control your own situation. You can't control everybody in the state of Illinois. So.
Yeah, but it's just sad because.
Or you can when you're 18. You probably can't now, but.
Yeah, half the people want it fixed, but half don't. So, kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, so fix some place that wants it, or if you are inclined to fix anywhere.
Here's what I would do if I wanted to get out of a place. And I were not, if I were living at home with my parents, which makes it a lot easier to save money because you're probably not paying rent, I would have a job or two and or figure out a way to make money without a job. But either way, have some sort of way to make some money and just start socking it away, put some into cryptocurrency, put some portion into that, and just start saving up money. That way, when I wanted to leave, I would have the money to go and do that and have a sort of a buffer.
Yeah,
to where
mini nest egg.
You got a little something to where if you run into some trouble, you still have some money and saved up. Josh, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Let's talk to David. He's in New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, the Corona crackdown. But since you're talking about corruption in Illinois, there was a reporter, and I found this online. I don't have it in front of me. Reporter asking the head of the FBI, Tom McClanahan, in New Mexico, about a statement that McClanahan had made about New Mexico being the most corrupt state in the nation. The reporter said, well, that's what the head of the FBI in Illinois said about Illinois. The McClanahan in New Mexico said, the head of the FBI in Illinois has not been to New Mexico.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
So
and,
what's going on with Corona there in New Mexico? I haven't seen any headlines. I'm sure there's stuff that you're hearing about, though.
Yeah, the government here is controlled by the Democrats presently and historically so, and currently, and the Democrat governor has implemented a state emergency, and so has done all of the things that all the other states that have declared an emergency are doing. And I think there's a total of 13, or is it 15 cases in New Mexico presently. So because there are 13 or 15 cases or whatever it is, it's gone up like 2 a day since day one, like 5-7 days ago, whatever it was, where there was 3. And because of those, dozen cases, she has declared an emergency, and everything is closed here, schools and government, and so on and so on and so on.
Well, because you don't want that 12 dozen or whatever to spread into hundreds and thousands.
Well, exactly. Now that may be true, and here's what I was calling about is, and there's nothing here that you'll disagree with, but let me put it in terms that you may not have brought up yet, and that's that. Obviously, when we were ruled by a king, not a good thing. And presently, we're basically ruled by a king all over again, only about 10 times worse than the original king, because of the weasels that have gotten. They saw the king go. They saw a vacuum of power. They saw an opportunity right after the Revolutionary War, when we were arguably the most free as individuals in this country, and then we've been slowly put back in chains over the years by these politicians that are basically trying to make themselves a sort of a king. And in that initial bit of freedom that we had after we fought a war for that freedom, which is probably what we should do again, the gentlemen that wrote the documents, they protected some of our God-given rights. For instance, right to assembly. It's written right there. And when you're quarantined to your house or whatever, your right of assembly is being infringed upon.
Oh, not only that, but some of these states are saying you cannot even get together with more than 100, or even in the case of Massachusetts now, 25 people.
Exactly. There's no end to it. But
so is anyone challenging that then? Is anyone saying like?
I've heard that there's a plan to get 26 people together somewhere in Massachusetts, but I don't know. They were talking about it in the Fork Fest chat room today. I don't know where it's
get cited, get arrested, and then challenge the constitutionality of the law.
That's what you'd have to do.
And here's the moral of the story is they fought a war to get rid of a tyrant, and we have a tyrant now, but they fought a war to get rid of a tyrant, and they wrote a few things down after the war saying, hey, here's what we didn't have before, and here's what we want to put, carve in stone what we got now, like freedom of assembly and freedom to keep our arms. And when these governors and whoever else declares these emergencies, what they're doing is they're suspending illegally your constitutional right to assemble.
Well, that's the thing. Is it illegal? Because they seem to think it's completely illegal to have their special little,
in their system,
their state of emergency, as they call it. It seems to just allow them to do anything they want to do, regardless of what the Constitution says. And I do agree. It would be nice if somebody challenged it. We are out of time for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night online. In the meantime, freetalklive.com.
You will understand the true intent of the Founding Fathers when they wrote the Constitution if you attend this free webinar. Chris Ann Hall, president of Liberty First University, doesn't simply regurgitate what some professor or expert has said about the Constitution. She relays the thoughts and opinions of those who wrote the documents. Her straightforward, passionate, easy-to-understand style lets anyone grasp the principles of liberty. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,579, silver at $15.74, and Bitcoin is trading around $5,064. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, a federal judge has released Chelsea Manning from a jail outside the nation's capital, ending roughly a year of incarceration that the former Army intelligence analyst served for refusing to testify to a grand jury. U.S. District Judge Anthony Trenga ordered Manning's release Thursday from an Alexandria, Virginia jail after prosecutors reported the grand jury that subpoenaed her had disbanded. The judge left in place more than $250,000 in fines be imposed for her refusal to appear before the grand jury, which is investigating WikiLeaks. Manning's lawyers said they were relieved at her release. They say she attempted suicide Wednesday at the jail. On Wednesday, the Free Thought Project reported that Manning was in the hospital and recovering. The 31-year-old reportedly used a sheet to hang herself inside the Alexandria Detention Center in Virginia, according to the Daily Mail. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The real crisis of the coronavirus is that it's going to bankrupt more people than it kills, especially in the United States. Activist Post reports that household debt has skyrocketed in the years following the Great Recession, putting many at risk for a financial disaster. Businesses are shutting doors and closing shop to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. But this in itself is a disaster for many who live paycheck to paycheck, which is almost 80% of Americans. Not to mention household debt in the U.S. reached a record of $14 trillion in February, during the coronavirus's spread around the globe. COVID-19's economic danger is exponentially greater than its health risks to the public. If the virus does directly affect your life, it's most likely to be through stopping you from going to work, forcing your employer to make you redundant, or bankrupting your business. As the coronavirus spreads, fear, sickness, and death, a specter haunts investors, the specter of deflation. Despite central bankers' attempts to push inflation rates higher, equity and commodity markets are collapsing. Inflation expectations, as reflected in tanking U.S. Treasury yields, meanwhile, appear headed toward zero, and perhaps even below. Activist Post reports that before investors jump on the deflation bandwagon, they should carefully consider the monetary and political forces that could be deployed to reverse a whiff of deflation. Stephen Moore, who was once floated by President Donald Trump as a nominee to the Federal Reserve Board, is now urging the Fed to reinflate the economy. More rate cuts are coming. President Trump, meanwhile, is pitching a payroll tax cut and other fiscal stimulus measures intended to supply consumers with more cash to spend into the economy. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. You're already listening to LRN.FM, whether via our 24/7 satellite feed, online streaming audio, or our video feeds. LRN.FM's content is available in multiple ways, but what if all you have is your phone and no data connection? You can call our listen line at 641-793-8869. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-8869.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm. The latest edition of Lions of Liberty is next on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm. Get more at lionsofliberty.com.
Hey everybody, this is John Odermatt, the host of Felony Friday, coming at you real quick to tell you about a brand new podcast. I want to ask you first, do you have a disdain for authority? I mean, do you really hate authority down deep in your bones? I mean, I'm talking about arbitrary authority. I'm talking about the government, not your dentist. I mean, if you have disdain for your dentist, that's between you and your dentist. So I can't help you there. But if you hate arbitrary authority, then you'll love a brand new podcast called Conversations About Freedom. It's hosted by a friend of this show right here, a friend of Lions of Liberty, a warrior for freedom, Moral Bob. Conversations About Freedom breaks through the noise and government propaganda to clearly convey the power of freedom. On Conversations About Freedom, Moral Bob uses fact, logic, and morality as his guiding principles to paint a picture as to what a truly voluntary society could look like. You can find Conversations About Freedom everywhere podcasts are found, and if you can't find it today, right now, rest easy. It will be available on your podcast app soon. It's a brand new podcast, so it takes time. Just be patient. Conversations About Freedom. Check it out.
Welcome to Felony Friday, a presentation of the Lions of Liberty podcast. Here is your host, John Odermatt.
Felons, friends, and freedom lovers, welcome back to another edition of Felony Friday, a weekly show right here on the Lions of Liberty podcast. So guys, if you enjoy this show, if you enjoy all three of our shows that we offer here every single week, they start each week with Mark Claire's Monday show, Brian McWilliams' Wednesday show called Electric Liberty Land, and of course, today's show, Felony Friday. focusing on the criminal justice system. If you enjoy it, if you love them, please subscribe. Just grab that magical device out of your pocket where the podcasts come to automatically and you listen to them. Some people call it a cell phone. And go to the app you're listening to this very podcast on, pound that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. And if you really, enjoy what you're listening to, if you like what we're doing here, take a minute and just give us a 5-star review. Leave us a little comment there, especially if you're listening on the iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever they call it, because it does help with the algorithm. It gets us in front of more eyeballs and ears when when people search for libertarian podcasts on Apple Podcasts. I have a little bit of a different show lined up for you today. Last week, I traveled across the state of Pennsylvania from my home in Pittsburgh to Philadelphia to attend the Libertarian Pennsylvania Convention in Philadelphia, PA. And it was awesome. I had a great time, met a lot of awesome people, and I spent some time sitting down with several libertarian presidential candidates to talk specifically about criminal justice reform. And there were like 16 or 17 presidential candidates there in attendance. Way too many to talk to just with the schedule and everything going on. I ended up talking to several of them, and I got 3 to play for you guys today. We're going to hear from the very famous Vermin Supreme. Had a great sit down with him. I mean, he's an entertaining guy. He's a comedian, charismatic guy. A lot of people see that side of him. But in this interview, I love it because you get to hear a more serious, a more measured side from Vermin Supreme, which most people have no idea exists. So excited for you guys to hear that. Also talk to Sam Robb. Sam is a very intelligent guy, very articulate guy. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's a libertarian, local libertarian from my area, and he's running for president. And I was excited to get to sit down with him, get to get his take on a lot of these very important criminal justice issues. And I also got to sit down with Kenny Blevins. Kenny is a really interesting guy, made the trip from Oklahoma all the way to Philadelphia to bring his message of liberty. This is a guy a blue-collar guy, didn't see anybody who was stepping up to really meet his ideal for what a presidential candidate should be. So he decided to put his hat in the ring. And he's got some great ideas, and I got to speak with him too. Like I said, guys, this is a different format. These are going to be stacked one after the other. Vermin, Sam, and Kenny. I hope you enjoyed today's show.
On this particular subject, because it's just cut and dried, burn down the fucking prisons, fucking let the people go. But well, yeah.
And that is right there, Vermin Supreme. Self-introduction right there, burn it all down.
Burn it all down, man. Burn the prisons down, let the people go. I know that a lot of people have concerns. What are we going to do with bad people? I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. If we have to take them out, that's what. in a non-nap violating way, of course, using some sort of private army and some sort of a justification along the lines of the self-defense, perhaps. And yes. Anyway, hi, I'm Vermin Supreme. We seem to have started, and I didn't even notice that. So
those are the best kinds of podcasts when you're just. Wait, did we start? Are we? Is this happening?
Yes,
right now?
No, we're just talking, yeah. And I'm Vermin Supreme. Yes, I'm running for president. Yes, I'm seeking the Libertarian Party nomination in a much more serious fashion than I have ever done any such thing before. And as such, it seems that I am often or more often asked my serious positions on serious policy issues. And of course, this comes with the caveat that I am not a wonk. I am not a pundit. Mm-hmm. And, I do know how I feel on certain things, and I do know what the platform states on such things, and I do believe I know how things make me feel. And I think we have to keep in mind that everybody has an opinion. Mm-hmm. And part of this divisiveness in this country is people think their opinions are so important, and they may even be totally misinformed opinions, but they hold on to them so dearly that they are willing to argue and fight and lose friends and cause a lot of dissension.
Yeah. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, but doesn't mean that you need to listen to it.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you should be so attached to it that it should identify your worldview to the point where you're threatened by those with different opinions, unless they're fucking Nazis.
The Nazis right out the helicopter. So you're not wearing the boot on the head today, but I know you have the boot with you. You're wearing what's the hat? Can you describe the hat you're wearing?
Well, right now I'm wearing a paper hat from the Waffle House.
I thought it stood for White House.
Well, I'm going to turn the White House into a Waffle House. That's very true. And of course, it's a nod to the Waffle House caucus. It's a growing caucus within the Libertarian Party itself, and it does seem to be one of those caucuses that spans the political spectrum, much like my supporters. We have folks on the left and folks on the right, and it's